And today we finally get to react to my favorite commentary channel. Oh my gosh. I love Playback. Sometimes I disagree with them. Sometimes, majority of the time, I agree with them. And let's get into it. Jonathan Majors, man. If y'all don't know what's going on, Jonathan Majors, he got hit with an assault and harassment case, and he lost it. And from surveillance video of the night that happened, he was trying to push the girl off of him and run away from her. That is what happened that night, and I guess they're going to go over it. Jonathan Majors' career might never recover. If you don't understand, right after the guilty verdict, Marvel Studios dropped him. He was supposed to be one of the main villains in, I think, a show and the movies. It was both of those, I think. But because of the guilty verdict, he cannot do those. So let's get into it.
Play back.
Facts. But there's one thing we don't have to ask Gay, can he do? Because he's been a gigolo. Alright, let's get into it.
I'm sad to report. The Snow Bunny got another one, man.
Bro, the Naruto theme in the back is crazy.
He was found guilty
For running away.
of assault charges, man. No! Alright, let me do it. Niggas do it. I think we trolling too much. Yo, welcome back, Playback. Let's go back. So the Jonathan Majors trial
I'm not supposed to be talking about this, I'm sorry.
is officially over, and just to cut through it.
And by the way, guys, we hit 100, but now it goes 200. I just gotta change it. Let's get it 200 subscribers. Well, y'all work fast. Just yesterday I was asking for 100, and look what y'all did. But now, what I need y'all to do is get me to 200. And I'm sorry that y'all can't see the chat. I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming to 3-4 people right now. They're active, so like come join us anytime. And yeah,
A lot of the BS. He was found guilty on 2 charges, but also not guilty on another 2 charges. The 2 charges that he was found not guilty on are probably the more important ones, the ones that would put him in jail for an extended period of time, was the assault in the 3rd degree with intent to cause physical harm or physical injury. That was not guilty. And also the aggravated harassment in 2nd degree, also not guilty. However, the charge that he was found
if you run away from somebody, how can you be the one harassing?
guilty for was the assault in 3rd degree, recklessly causing physical injury, and also harassment in 2nd degree. This is a slight win because Jonathan Majors is not going to do any extended period of time in jail. If he does, it's only up to 1 year for $1,000.
He said only. Like 1 year is like, I understand it could have been worse, but only 1 year, bro. Bro, I did what, 30 hours of community service, and I felt like I was never going to get through it. So 1 year in jail, I can only imagine.
Fine, 3 years of probation based off of this.
I'm sorry, 1 year is crazy.
Exactly! 1 year is crazy. Wait, what the hell? The fuck?
Especially because the harassment in 2nd degree, that's technically not even a criminal charge. It's just a fine. You get hit with a ticket.
What is that?
Fine. You don't have a criminal record. The only thing that's going to hold a criminal record against him would be the 3rd degree recklessly causing physical injury, assault, if he was found guilty. Basically, now when it comes to the 2 not guilty charges, what essentially it means that the jury did not believe that he is this aggressive man that was going around bopping her from left to right.
Why did they say bopping?
None of the piece of evidence pointed to that. That makes sense because everything was fairly inconsistent from start to finish. Unfortunately, I know many people who probably would have followed.
Agent is Ethiopian, but he looks so Mexican right there.
Case. Don't understand why, but just briefly, the people out there who talk about the text message and the voice recording, be very mindful that was from another incident, was not in this incident. And before we even got in the beginning of the trial, Grace Jabari was on the record saying that Jonathan Majors had never put her hands on her before until the night that was in question. So if we were to believe her, and she said this under oath, then those text messages and that voice recording had to be referencing something that did not lead to physical altercation. So there's that. Those text messages may seem damning, and the voice recording is definitely damning. It sounds damning. But if you are a man in particular, a black man especially, you probably understand the perception of what it may feel like to be someone that looks like you are bopping a woman, and so you're going to be very cautious on how people deal with it. So much so that you probably wouldn't call the police, and that's why I think Jonathan Majors kind of outlined that way in the text message. And also, it wouldn't be consistent with his character, because if you believe that he was previously bopping her, then why would he call the police on the night that is in question? Because he is the one who called the police to make sure that she got her some type of
All right, Amber, we'll see you.
some help.
Knocked out.
Now, the other case, the other charge, and this is where things get a little sticky now. In particular, the assault in third degree recklessly causing physical injury. He was found guilty on that, essentially because they believe the way that he handled the situation when he was pushing her back into the car.
Oh my God, Joe, you can't even run away.
Was him acting recklessly, which could have
What?
resulted in physical injury. We talked about
So what? She don't get no charge for, bro. She don't get no charge for putting her hands on that man, right? She don't get no charge for that.
this actually. We cut it out of the video, but last time we recorded, we said, well, technically speaking, he did shove her. That is an assault. You know, he could get hit with her.
Bro, the only person that acted recklessly was her chasing this nigga down 8 different blocks.
Exactly.
That's reckless. And
That
he's
was
not
like a-
just like he's not just a right. He's not like if Low walked down the street, bro, you're in no danger. But if Jonathan Majors walks down the street with no security, no nothing, he could potentially be in danger. You don't know what city he's in. You don't know who wants what. You have a lot to lose, bro. She acted so recklessly. The fact that
And she ran in front of them cars.
the reckless one in this situation is crazy. The reality is her recklessness. If I act recklessly towards you, and then in your defense of me, you get accused
That's
of
what I'm
assaulting me.
saying.
That's brain dead. That's genuinely
It is.
brain dead. You're basically admitting in the court system that women have no ability to harm a man, but men
Yeah.
have to be ultra sensitive because even in the defense of themselves, him putting her back into the car, that qualifies as reckless causing physical injury.
That's fact.
That's nuts, man.
I said that too. I said Jonathan Majors was essentially found guilty because he was too aggressive when attempting to get away from
Why did agent screenshot this? Why couldn't Lowe just screenshot it?
That's essentially right. That's essentially it.
Wow, bro.
In the attempt of trying to remove himself from the situation and separate himself from Grace Jabari, they believe that he was acting too recklessly and he did it in an aggressive manner. And that right there, it could lead to her being injured, and that's what they found him guilty. They didn't find him guilty on the
Yeah,
concept that he was
Gabe, you saw that. Jonathan ran a whole marathon. It's not funny, bruh. But this dude, it seemed like it was like a cartoon chase. The way, bro, that joint was crazy.
abusive man that was bopping her. He did not find guilty on that. Wasn't found guilty that he was harassing her with the intent to injure her. Was not found guilty of that. He was simply found guilty because he did something that they deemed reckless that could have resulted in her being. Two things. A, I think his lawyers did a really bad job because what they did throughout the entire case was focusing on if she was or was not hurt after the altercation. What they should have also made sure they focused on, which is also crazy because I don't think there's enough evidence to prove she was injured after that altercation. Be very mindful that after that happened, she used the same hand that was bruised with, tied the back of her hair. The woman that she met tried to stop her from chasing after Jonathan Majors. With her hand, she snatched her hand away from her. She was using her hand on the railing to go up and down stairs throughout the nightclubs. She was using her hand to hold a cigarette, hold a drink, dig in her purse and find that nigga's credit card and swipe it left and right on VIP tables and bottles. She used her hand to do that all night. And then also, this is information that we did not put in there that I learned about. The lacerated cut behind her ear, her lacerated ear, there was no blood in the car. There was no incident or anyone saying that when they met her that they saw her ear cuts. There was no blood dripping from her face. And then she went out. Mind you, somebody slapped you so hard across the face that your whole ear gets cut. You probably would have a headache and not want to go out to the club. But no, of course you want to.
Let's get it. We got 5 people in here. Boom, boom, boom. But this junk crazy right here, though.
Incident where there have claimed to have been blood is at the loft at the suite that he stays in that she passed out at, where the police officer said that he did see some blood residue on the pillow, which would be consistent of her putting her head down.
We watching the Jonathan Major thing right now, guys. We got to get back to Fortnite in a little bit. If you came for Fortnite, but if you came here to watch this, enjoy. Pull up some popcorn.
Bro, That
Be
means-
very mindful that she also walked into a wall after she got drunk.
That means the jury believes that it's more likely he hurt her than there's video evidence of her walking.
Oh, yeah, let's
up
get
a
me
wall
to
drunk.
over
She was
100
so drunk
subscribers.
She passed out in the loft. But for some reason, he's such a threat that they can't fathom she injured herself drunk out of her fucking mind by herself.
Now again, let's
That's
be
what
clear.
the fuck?
There's no
What?
proof. There's no, technically speaking, there's no proof that we have that she got injured irrefutably doing something else. But also, it's not on Jonathan Majors' part. They have to prove that she got injured within a reasonable doubt after that, during that incident. Even though there's several pieces of evidence that it didn't seem that way, and it's very reasonable to believe that a woman who was so drunk out of her mind that she walked into a wall and also passed out in the closet. It's very
That's
reasonable
crazy.
to believe that she could have did that to herself. And also, seeing from some of the other text messages and voice messages that were recorded, you could very well argue that she may have done this before in the way that I read it as a man being in some similar situations or other people
Damn.
that I've known been in similar situations. What it
Low-key
sounds
hitting
like
him?
is Jonathan Majors is disappointed in the way that she handles herself with alcohol. She's not being a proper representation of herself and embarrassing herself in the relationship they have, and not honestly and genuinely recognizing the sacrifice that he makes, and she just goes out and does what she wants to do.
That's
she gets
wild.
so drunk that it leads to that level of representation. Who knows what could have happened? There's a possibility that she's bumped her head before on something, that she's done ridiculous, wild stuff while she's drunk that has resulted in her essentially injuring herself. And Jonathan
That's
Majors
crazy.
then said, yo, take some painkillers first. Before you go to the hospital and they start asking you questions, because now it looks like I done bopped you left and right. Take some painkillers first and then we'll figure out.
That's not
after that,
funny.
'cause you about to just ruin
That's
me.
not
You don't know
funny.
how to human.
Wow.
That's because
She went
after
out by
Trying
herself
not to
and
laugh.
got blackout drunk. Think about how dangerous that is.
she didn't go by
That
herself,
is-
she met some strangers and got blackout.
When he says dangerous, bro, you understand the risk that not only a woman but a man, like anyone get blacked out drunk in public, the risk you have, like anyone could come and take advantage of you in any type of way. It doesn't have to just be grape, you know what I'm saying? So like, if you get blackout drunk, make sure you have a designated driver and you're around your friends. Do not go out and get blackout drunk on your own. Look at Agent, he's just thinking of ways to cook somebody up when they're blacked out drunk. Look at him. That is a wild face to have when you're talking about someone getting used and abused while being blackout drunk.
Think about how dangerous that is.
That's by yourself. You don't know. You don't have no allegiance towards you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You're solo. And anybody could have, obviously niggas gonna like try and, you feel me?
This
Even that's
Yeah.
yeah, like that's crazy.
Why is you
You-
letting two niggas accompany you on a night out?
You got blacked out drunk around
Yes.
some random strangers. That's how loose you are with some of your decision making. So again, like, the woman was actually referenced that was her. But it is so interesting, especially the way the conversation is centered around.
Said that's how
all of
loose
this.
you are.
How no one is talking about that at all. It's all about Jonathan Majors, and which then leads to the bigger point of this video. To the fellas out there, I don't know what else you need to see. This trial is irrefutable.
Gabe ain't lying. Make sure you with friends you trust when you get black. Bro, I don't even recommend getting blackout drunk when you're with your friends. Like maybe you can, bro, but like you never know what situation might occur and they need you like at least a little sober or you get with a buzz. You know what I'm saying?
Evidence that you as a man is at a massive deficit when you're dealing with women. You're at a massive deficit, bro. There's no other way around it, bro. She acted reckless by essentially trying to steal. This is what the lawyer should have said. Yo, you stole his, even if you want to say that he did injure you in this altercation, technically speaking, he has the right to receive his person back from you, which would be the cell phone, that you took from him forcefully. He has a right to use force to take that back, as well as separate you forcefully because you are essentially assaulting him as well. But they didn't argue that. They were trying to argue that she wasn't even injured in the first place.
I'm
But
pretty sure he counter.
he tried to countersue her, but the judge said, no, we're not going to allow it.
So if I grab Lowe's phone and this nigga's like, give me my phone back,
And
he
takes
assaulted
it.
me and I did nothing wrong.
First of all, there's a lot wrong with this situation.
That's
here.
crazy.
It's obvious the bias in the court system. We don't even have to fucking beat that horse till it fucking dies. The reality is Marvel dropped him on the grave.
Yeah, and then also the
Yeah,
result
that
of this,
hurts.
as soon as the verdict came in, Marvel dropped him from basic care.
And it's like they waited because they probably would have just let it fly if he wasn't found guilty. And the reality is they probably like him and realize that Marvel is too PG of a brand to be in the space of this type of allegations. To begin with.
Okay,
So second
yeah.
guilty, boom, he's getting packed. So he loses out on all the momentum he's built with Creed, all of the Marvel movies. He loses out on all of that momentum in his career because of an incident where it seems as though he did nothing wrong. All he did was try and remove himself from a situation, and she was so aggressive in pursuit that
Yo, as one black man watching this, bro, that junk is so hurtful. That's so hurtful, man. Like, and like we can blame like she was white, but I mean, like, bro, I can honestly see a black woman doing it, but even worse, I can see a black woman doing this exact same thing, but on top of that, going on a rant on Twitter, and then she gets some clout from this. You know what I'm saying? So she gets clout, and I have a broken career. So, bro, that junk is so hurtful, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for every man, not just black, because this can happen to any man, bro. I ain't lying to you, bro. Women win every time, bro. Gotta be careful who you choose to let close. Everybody ain't for you. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, we gotta put down on a merch or something. We gotta make that a fucking sign or something, bro. I let somebody close to me, boy, oh boy. Hey, I'll never, look, I let somebody close to me, I found out I'm too old. I'm 25. I'm too old to let anybody else close to me. Right? I let somebody close to me and they screwed me over in multiple ways. And I'm reaping what I sowed. So I'm never letting somebody close to me ever again. Unless I got partners, like business partners or YouTube friends, stuff like that. But anybody in my circle is closed. If you in there, I'm happy you're in there. If you're not, look, we can shake hands, we can talk here and there, but you cannot get close to me. Facts. Do not let nobody close to you, bruh. When you get out of high school, do not let nobody close to you. When you go off to college, have acquaintances, don't have friends. Do not put your neck on the line for nobody, because they will not do the same. Or if you do put your neck on the line for them, they'll fuck you over. Facts.
they found him as the one.
Facts.
She chased this nigga down.
Bro, fuck you over.
I don't give a fuck, bro. They have to have some evidence we don't know about. I just refuse to believe they indicted this nigga on this evidence. It sounds too unbelievable, though.
It sounds insane, bruh.
Yeah.
And to the people making this black man, white woman conversation, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
I think that has
bro.
something to do with it, but I think most
No,
people are trying to turn it into, well, that's what he deserved for dating that milk.
Look at that top comment. All y'all niggas have craving milk. This is what comes with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Almost
Lord
to
have
say
mercy.
he deserves this for dating somebody that he
Like.
fell in love with. It's
Right.
not something he deserves.
And when y'all say it, y'all essentially are acknowledging that white women in particular can get away with these things because they're white women. You are acknowledging the disadvantages of it. I think this has way more to just do with, again, the relationships with men and women, and how, as a man, you're dealing with a woman that puts you at a disadvantage, at a deficit. You're dealing with a woman that is a liability. You now become more accountable for her liabilities than your own.
Your own. And on
Which is
top of
crazy.
that, what's stopping men from seeing this situation and being like, why would I call the police to help
In the
her
first
out?
place, yeah.
He went to his own loft, found her passed out drunk with blood, and called the police, which is what you would do if you cared about the person that was on the fucking ground. He wasn't thinking about what the implications might be for him. And then this is the result. This is the result.
Which, again, I want to be clear to the people out there who think that he's this aggressive bopper. It's not consistent with the type of character that they try to outline. How is it possible that this man, for maybe a few instances prior, was so aware of like making sure that no one knew that he was bobbing her, to the point where he didn't even want her to go to the hospital, because that could then lead to a line of questions that could then reveal that he actually is bopping her. All of a sudden, sees her passed out in this man's loft.
That's
with
wild.
A bruised finger, cut behind the ear, and some
Yeah.
pills, and was like, I need to call the police now.
Yeah,
After,
that-
allegedly, he's the one who smacked her across the face in the car, as she claimed. Of course,
Yeah,
that's
that-
not right. that doesn't
that
that
don't
doesn't even
sound
make
right.
any sense.
That
But
don't
yeah, you're
sound
right.
right.
What's the point of me even calling?
So basically what he's saying is, old dude hit her and then told her we can't call the cops because they're gonna know it was me. Then a few minutes later, she was passed out drunk with a cut on her face, and then that's when he calls the cops. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, that doesn't make sense.
On the police now. I'm putting myself at jeopardy because this is how your night resulted in. Yet
That's
again,
wild.
you're drunk as hell and passed out somewhere
Bro,
random.
I love
That's
reacting to
tough.
videos.
Yo, that means
And now,
shit.
wait, let me. It is once again because in court it was already proven by professionals, by other people who've been around her, by even several messages and comments that were provided between both of them, one of which we heard in the voice recording, that she abuses alcohol. So this is a
Damn.
repeat character flaw of her.
That's so mind blowing to me.
And only because
Jury
when
fumble,
he was pushing her back into the car,
Jury
it felt like
fumble.
he felt like he was doing it just too aggressively, and it led to this. Now,
Jury fumble,
to also be clear, both charges are misdemeanors. Again, he might not even have to serve any time at all. But to the people who are saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's a misdemeanor. He don't have to serve no time, possibly." It's not really about that. It's about the perception that people have. I've already seen several news articles represent this entire story completely incorrectly. I've seen major publications claim that he was found guilty on both charges of assault. I've seen it. It's the concept that you as a man was found guilty of some form of assault against a woman. That's it. That's what it's found. That's it.
Reality is most people don't look into situations.
They don't.
They won't look at the details. They won't even know he was charged with 4 things, found guilty of 2. They'll just see, oh, he beat her.
Yep.
And that's the majority of people. That's the information they receive from.
Y'all want to know something else? As soon as Marvel dropped him, if someone told that girl that sued him that he got dropped, you know what she said? Y'all want to know? Y'all want to know what she said? She said, "I don't care." That's exactly what she said. Women don't give a fuck if they fuck you over. They don't care.
She chased this nigga down blocks, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. They have to have some evidence we don't know about. I just refuse to believe they indicted this nigga on this evidence. It sounds
For her liabilities, then your own.
Your own. And on top of that, what's stopping men from seeing this situation and being like, why would I call the police to
in
help
the
her
first
out?
place, yeah.
He went to his own loft, found her passed out drunk with blood, and called the police, which is what you would do if you cared about the person that was on the fucking ground.
Which again, like a instances prior, in revolve called as she point out resulted in. Yet again,
Oh, shit.
you're drunk as hell and passed out somewhere randomly.
You know,
That's tough.
Yo, that means
And now wait, let me. It is once again because in court it was already proven by professionals, by other people who've been around her, by even several messages and comments that were provided between both of them, one of which we heard in the voice recording, that she abuses alcohol. So this is a repeat character flaw of her,
that's so mind blowing to me.
and only because
Jury
when he
fumble,
was pushing her back into the car, it
Jury
felt like
fumble.
he felt like he was doing it just too aggressively, and it led to this. Now,
Jury fumble.
to also be clear, both charges are misdemeanors. Again, he might not even have to serve any time at all. But to the people who are saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's a misdemeanor. He don't have to serve no time, possibly." It's not really about that. It's about the perception that people have. I've already seen several news articles represent this entire story completely incorrectly. I've seen major publications claim that he was found guilty on both charges of assault. I've seen it. It's the concept that you as a man was found guilty of some form of assault against a woman. That's it. That's what it's found. That's it.
Reality is most people don't look into situations.
They don't.
They won't look at the details. They won't even know he was charged with 4 things, found guilty of 2. They'll just see, oh, he beat her.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's the majority of people. That's the information they receive from
Yep.
this verdict here. So now there's gonna be the ongoing perception. He's gonna have to fight for the rest of his life that he beat her.
Yep. One of the biggest takeaways I get from this is that it is so disingenuous when men are asked repeatedly to understand women's POVs in relationship dynamics, right? As a man, you have to understand that if she sleeps with you too early, then you are, she may be considered a slut. If you are a man, you gotta make sure you don't hover around her drink too much, because people do, they put roofies in her drink. If you are a man, you gotta make sure you walk into the car at night, because people are aggressive and they try to steal from women, et cetera, et cetera. If you are a man, there's so many aspects from a woman's POV that you have to understand. It's that time of the month for her, you gotta give her some leeway because you're a little extra emotional. There's so many things. But women don't have to do that.
What's up, Sasha?
Fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
You
bro.
just
they
see
they
it
don't
from
They
care.
don't care. I
They
just
don't
said
care.
that.
To you, this is probably
They don't
a
care.
not that big of a deal, but like what, like that's part of the reason why I don't even like going out. Like, how do you even know who you can interact with? Everybody's drunk, and nowadays, if you're drunk, like it doesn't even count as consent. So like, what can you even do with anybody if you're drunk? Is it equal? Like,
It's like, bro, that whole hassle, I'm not gonna lie, is not worth the future headache, bro.
What the hell?
And And the reality is, it's not that hard to treat people well, or with some decency. And in this situation, I think he did the right thing. Running away
Was the only thing you can do when someone's being really aggressive. When someone feels like there's, bro, that is, what's the word for that?
Entitled?
She's entitled. It's the entitlement from her that she can grab his phone. It's the entitlement for her that she could be aggressive around him. And it's the entitlement that she knows he's not gonna do nothing to hurt her. And so she could be as aggressive as she wants. She could chase him 8 blocks if she wants to. And it's the patience and reserve from him of backing away, stop, give me my phone back, backing away, and running 8 blocks. My nigga, what? Bro, that is what you should be coaching people to do. Like, if someone's being aggressive towards you, just de-escalate. De-escalate and remove yourself from the situation.
But you can't, but apparently they're saying that even when you're attempting to de-escalate, you can't do that too aggressively.
Bro,
You do that too aggressively, you might
some
unintentionally
wild
harm that
shit,
person,
man.
so now we gotta hit you with charge.
Bro, if the police caught that charge for every time they tried to de-escalate, there'd be no police force in there. Because in the process of de-escalating, if someone's acting recklessly, sometimes they get hurt. The reality is, in this specific situation, it's way more likely she got hurt blackout drunk on a night by herself with some strangers. That's way more likely. She was walking into walls. Bro, that's like,
blaming him for her drunk night out is pretty fucking bananas when there's literally no evidence to prove that
he was acting aggressively or he was being violent. He has no history of those things.
this just feels like fuck him, a complete lack of perspective or empathy.
And now he gets to deal with the consequences of that. And the reality is, she will deal with 0. Genuinely, what is he supposed to do in that situation?
So that's the question.
If he's trying to remove himself from the car and she jumps on him like this, if
My
he
phone
just
died, guys. I
goes
can't see the
anyway,
chat.
there's a good chance she gets hurt because now she's being dragged
That-
along.
so that's why I said too, like, bro, her finger could have got bruised off the fact that if you took my phone and I'm trying to grab it from you and my hand overlaps in your hand and I'm pushing up against it, your finger could have got bruised then. Her finger could have got bruised as I'm running away. Your finger latches on into something because he was missing a button on one of his things. Sure, her finger could have got bruised off of that alone. There's so many things that her finger truly could have got bruised on. But I genuinely, to the people out
There you
there
go.
who believe that this man is guilty and he was still in the wrong, I ask you, what do you want from men to do in that scenario?
Deadass. What's he supposed
Deadass,
to do?
what do you want? What do you want? Because if the result of this all is that you are saying that it is fine, and when a woman puts her hands on a man, that a man just can't do nothing. He just has to figure out a way to remove himself from that situation without showing any form of physicality at all. If that's what you're saying, again, that is a concept that many women already believe, and it's the reason why many women act the way that she acted that night, because they know they can just do whatever.
The bar he has to reach for people to consider him innocent compared to the bar she has to reach. For people to admit that
she had a fucking wild night and she was the one who acted wrong is nuts. But yeah, let us know what y'all think in the comment section down below.
That's some wild
Jonathan
shit.
Majors lost his roles.
Let's see what they say. Yeah. I don't gotta scroll down. I know what they're saying.